Sorry. There's an entrance to Eglinton Station. And this is Eglinton Avenue West. And hey there, today is, what day is it? Wednesday, November 12th. It is 4:14 p.m. The temperature is 7 degrees Celsius, but it sure feels a whole lot chillier than that. And again, I'm at Eglinton and Yonge Street. And that's a look to the east. And unfortunately, the Crosstown LRT line is still very much a pipe dream. So I'll be talking a lot about that on this one as I make my way east. We're about 3 kilometers or a little over that from Eglinton towards Eglinton West Station, what will soon be Cedarvale Station. And I'll be going by some future LRT stops. Let's take a look into this future entrance. There's a very large bus terminal here, as well as Line 1 service. They built all this to connect the future Crosstown to the station. So I'm not allowed to enter this if I'm not with Sami Kermani or Saviz Gamarian. Well, that's good to know. It's publicly posted info, so it's not like they're being doxxed or anything. There's a couple of TTC buses. But we are now running on 14 years and counting for this dam project to open up. Groundbreaking was back in 2011, so it's become something of a running joke. And it's one that's had devastating economic consequences for a lot of the businesses along Eglinton. So I'll talk a little bit about the timeline, as well as outline what the line itself will entail. It would certainly mean a lot less of these Eglinton Avenue buses, although it wouldn't totally eliminate them, as there's quite a distance between some of the stops. This is Duplex Avenue. And an old office and retail building met with the wrecking ball a few days ago. Someone took that turn a little hard. There's a massive redevelopment proposal for this site that will feature several tall towers going in. And I believe this is supposed to be a little park area. Although that Crosstown entrance was quite a bit to the west of the main intersection, I don't think it'll be all that well utilized. The next station I'll be walking by, or future station, is at Avenue. And I think I last made a video on this topic exactly a year ago in November of 2024. And I had predicted that the line would open up coinciding around the provincial elections. Well, those came and gone. I think they were in February. But it's hard to talk about the Eglinton Crosstown LRT pulled out talking about another project, and that was the Eglinton West line. A subway line that was actually under construction on Eglinton Avenue West. And that one dates back to the early 1990s. It was planned between the 80s into the early 90s. I believe it was approved under the then Bob Rae government, who was the provincial premier at the time. The province did something extremely unfortunate and elected Mike Harris, and he promptly canceled the line. And what's crazy is the Crosstown is now going to cost over $12 billion for what's effectively an underground streetcar line. And that Eglinton West subway line had a price tag of $1.2 billion. And even with inflation, that seems like a hell of a bargain compared to what we have to pay for an inferior transit line in 2025. It was canceled as part of a big cost-cutting initiative by Harris.
It's up to you.
He's the same jackass who sold off Highway 407 to foreign interests. He then proceeded to toll the hell out of the citizens of this province who tried to use that highway. And had it have been built, we probably would have seen it extended. I think the original plans were for 6 stops west of Eglinton West Station, but there were plans to extend it out to the airport and then build it out eastwards over to Kennedy, which is where the Crosstown LRT terminates to the east. But instead, the province opted to build the Shepherd Line. Well, part of the Shepherd Line, not even the full thing. So we got a stub of a line on Shepherd Avenue, a street which by no means needs a subway. And we're still waiting for mass rapid transit on Eglinton here. There's a community center right across the street. But when all is said and done, finally, the Crosstown will be 19 kilometers in length, starting at Mount Dennis to the west of here, and terminating at Kennedy Station to the east. And it'll connect to Line 1 at Eglinton West Station, which will be renamed to Cedarvale Station once the line opens, and at Eglinton Station, and it'll connect to Line 2 at Kennedy. And even though it's not even open yet, there's already early construction work going on to extend the Crosstown west of Mount Dennis. Perhaps they're jumping the gun a little bit on that, but it'll feature 25 stops. There'll be a mix of 15 underground stops, mostly to the east, and 10 underground stops. And in addition to mixing with the Toronto subway, it'll also connect to the GO train and GO bus at a few different stops. Eglinton Avenue is a major artery that cuts across the city east to west. And there is the Burger Shack. That's an excellent spot if you want an old school burger restaurant experience. I always kind of like the view to the south of here. It's a little better from the other side of the street. I think I'll stick to the south side of Eglinton. perhaps what's most frustrating about the Crosstown project is when it does open up, the vehicles on the above ground portion, well, the whole thing for that matter, won't have signal priority. So they'll get held up at traffic lights. And the lack of signal priority really slows the TTC streetcar networks down. But the idea for a line across Eglinton has been around for quite a while, as demonstrated by the fact that one was actually under construction in the early 90s. It's a play area for kids, maybe? She had a Shinsegae bag. That's a upscale Korean department store. But the project was under construction in 2011, and it was supposed to open in 2020. So we're now over 5 years past due, pretty much. And rip to the Queen's Legs, local watering hole. I hadn't been there in a while. We used to go there. There's a new escape room, Trapped. And I didn't point it out when I walked past, but that white building right there in the center is an entrance to Avenue Station, and it takes up all of that space, including 2 floors above it. The land use of this project is nothing short of being an abomination. There's plenty of room for retail and to build other stuff on top. And here we have a station right on the corner. Again, no other use is planned. Maybe we'll go get a closer look at that. This is the future Avenue Station. Part of that view I mentioned earlier. Some different people you have to be with if you're going to enter it. This just looks like an enormous amount of wasted land. There could have been a much narrower entrance and room for a retail store. And while the Crosstown was under construction, Eglinton here, while it was being tunneled out, Eglinton resembled a war zone. And the legendary Yitz's Deli, among countless others, went out of business. I remember first going there after seeing it featured on an episode of Kenny vs. Spenny. Oliver Jewelry is a famous Toronto character. The next station will be Chaplin. Back in 2015, the major contract to build the line was awarded to, I think, Crosslinks Transit Solutions. The then Minister of Transport stated it wasn't going to open until 2021. There's an old theater and event venue. New clothing store, TNT. It's actually a National Historic Site. Over the years, the opening date has been pushed back. The original target being 2020, and then, as I just mentioned, it was moved to 2021. And later it was stated by Metrolinx, the authority overseeing the entire project, that the line would be substantially complete by September of 2022. And that date slipped again until late 2023. And then there was just no firm opening date given.
We gotta hurry up and go.
It was a TTC representative in December of 2024 who said the earliest it would open would be June of 2025. Eglinton bus. And then in June, the Premier Doug Ford said it could be open by September of 2025. Recently, the line was finally handed over from Metrolinx to the TTC for a 30-day test service. I think they called it 30-day revenue service demonstration. And that was set to wrap up on my birthday, November 6th. And if it successfully completed that, then it should have pretty much been good to go. Oh, there's a Summerhill Market here. Wondering if that's new or not. That's a grotesquely priced small little supermarket. You'd be much better off in the wallet going to the Dave Young Fruit Market, probably. A little less bougie. But as luck would have it, during that revenue testing in October, two of the trams collided.
Susan, what are you
So what that meant was the whole testing had to be put on pause. Here's the House of Chan, not in its original location. It was originally a little bit west of Bathurst, but due to the crosstown construction, land where their old location was expropriated. And they had to move to a new home. But that 30-day test period is a required step in order to open it. So that means we are all stuck in limbo again. I went to the latest update section on the Metrolinx page. There were just links to articles that seemed to have nothing to do with anything related to the timeline. Metrolinx is the broader provincial transit authority overseeing the project. We're also overseeing the Ontario line and Line 6. Is it art? What is it? Rusty metal? A tetanus shot waiting to happen? There's been a number of hurdles throughout the construction process and many issues which didn't come to light, or at least became known to the public until quite recently. And coming up is Chaplin. But look at this obscene land use. Why do you need an entire structure just for an entrance? To what will probably be one of the lower traffic stations, especially with the main entrance over there. Why is all of this necessary? I've lived in Seoul where major subway stations open up, and all you get is a few doorways integrated into existing buildings. Oh, that's good. They have the hours posted. Some more people you can't enter without. Crosslinks Transit Solutions. But there's not even an elevator here, so why the hell are they using up so much space? Carry skateboards? Carry inline skates? Those seem necessary. There's easily room for a retail store or two, and some apartment or office units up top. Main entrance to the station is just over there. There's an EMS station. I'll try to cross the street here. So this one is wheelchair accessible. There's another entrance over there. That one's not so bad. LRB testing underway. Is there a nice little park behind it? There's a bike locker. The street is Chaplin Crescent. Oh, I'm just getting a phone call. One sec. Well, that was a whole lot of nothing. I wonder how these bike lockers are going to work. But there's a high school just north of here that the stop will serve. And just south is a very swanky Forest Hill neighborhood. And it's going to be sunset pretty soon. And this is the Beltline Trail. An old commuter rail line. It's part of a Rails to Trails project. The line was plagued with technical and integration issues. Apparently there were numerous issues with the software and control systems, signaling and train control systems specifically. There's a quality assurance report that listed over 260 defects with the project that needed to be rectified. There's also a number of legal and contractual related delays and various disputes between crosslinks in the province. COVID-19 slowed down construction, but it should have been open before the pandemic even set in. So I struggled to get my words out. And the vehicles themselves were built by what was then Bombardier. But the Bombardier rail business was purchased by Alstom, a European transit builder. That one cop turned its lights on. Oh, the other one did. They are in a hurry. Turning left onto Chaplin. Could there be any connection to the chopper slowly circling the area? Some really nice looking old walk-up apartments on that side of the street. On the right, the Forest Hill Library branch. And Forest Hill Collegiate. And you can see right there, it's, well, it just disappeared, but it had the time and temperature on there. That's a really neat looking old walk-up as well. They don't make those like they used to. So the neighborhood to the right is Forest Hill North, and to the south is Forest Hill. Forest Hill is one of the most affluent neighborhoods in the city. Someone's throwing out some couches. So after going up this little hill, I'm going to go down one, and we'll be at Bathurst and Eglinton, where the Forest Hill LRT station is. This is Old Forest Hill Road. This is an absolutely beautiful street, particularly south of here. Cuts through the heart of Forest Hill. There's a lot of really grand old homes on it. Guys pushing either a fixed gear or a single speed. And here is where traffic can often hit quite the bottleneck. In fact, I've been on these 32 westbound buses a number of times and hopped off around Bathurst and been able to walk to Eglinton West Station before the bus I was on would have arrived. There's a packed bus. To paraphrase what he said, put your bleeping signal on, then I'll know where you're going. Have true words ever been spoken? People that just jump around lane to lane or turn without signaling are the absolute lowest of the low in society. I'll stand by that. Nothing says I only think about me and care about me like not signaling. And here is Forest Hill Station. Very prominent corner. You have a standalone station. At least this one's accessible, but we really need to use all this space. When the escalators have been running at a lot of these stations all day long for months and months now. And apparently a lot of the vehicles are already having maintenance and wear and tear issues because they've been testing for years and years. Not Sure, it's really necessary to stress test the escalators like that. They're just being worn down. Some contractor is doing cartwheels over the prospect of getting to fix a whole bunch of stuff on our newly opened subway system. This is Bathurst, a major north-south corridor. You could take it south all the way down to the lake. And once you get south of Bloor, it forms the western border of downtown. Now we're into a neat little retail stretch. There's a new Starbucks and Dollarama in that building. And I mentioned the House of Chan before. Oh, here's where it used to be. Again, why the hell does there need to be such a large station here? Most people are just going to be going straight in and straight down.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Should we get Starbucks?
That could have been retail use. The city could have recouped some significant costs in making these buildings multi-use. Why the hell does this have to be here? What even is this?
Very nice of you. Thank you, Chloe.
And you can say I'm being ignorant to transit construction, but again, I lived in Seoul and had several transit lines go up over the course of 5 years, including one right at the station I lived right beside. And the construction was minimal. And the entrances were all integrated into existing buildings. Just like it's done pretty much all over the world. I'm not sure why this underground streetcar requires such massive land use at street level. This area is known as the Upper Village. And again, during construction, there was construction hoarding all along Eglinton, making it really difficult to access a lot of the businesses. Little Jamaica, an area just west of here, was particularly hard hit. Caniculture cannabis store. Well, it's actually started raining lately. I've got my gimbal on me. I'm thinking of doing a live stream after this. I might just hop onto the subway and head south towards downtown and do that. There's a Popeyes. Oh, that did not last. That is already under lease. Right next to a Swiss Chalet. And you'll notice the bike lanes have disappeared. Metrolinx was only tasked with installing them around the subway station or LRT stations when they were building it. And the city's supposed to connect the rest of the dots, so it's a very incomplete infrastructure. Now the province is trying to meddle with those plans, so I'm not sure what's going to happen to these bike lanes we're supposed to get. The province needs to approve any instances where lanes of traffic are removed for bike lanes. Pattaya City. Not exactly known for being the culinary capital of Thailand. Interestingly, they just passed a law barring the drinking of alcohol after midnight. In all of Thailand, but early reports say that has been completely unenforced. It's business as usual in drinking spots, including in Pattaya. All right, here's some buses. Let's see if they get to the stop before me. That one is bus 7253. There's often quite the bottleneck or choke point just up ahead, where the Allen Road dumps a lot of traffic onto Eglinton. Bus is going wide, but that's 7204. That's a short turn, so that's probably only going as far as Eglinton West Station. So these buses are going left because a lot of the vehicles to the right will be turning onto the Allen Road, which was originally built to be the Spadina Expressway and go south, ripping through downtown, destroying a number of neighborhoods, including what is now Chinatown, and going through the Cedarvale Ravine and right past Casa Loma during that idiotic craze of trying to build highways all through our cities. But that was defeated. Well, it looks like it's probably going to win. There goes 7253. Thwarted by the red light, perhaps. Not a very good job by that bus driver. I think he was going to run the red light, but that pedestrian who was crossing gave him second thoughts. That guy was giving away a box from Cozy. I bought an end table from them. You can see the bike lane has reappeared. Not sure what the plans are for this parking lot. This is Eglinton West Station, which Metrolinx is insisting on renaming to Cedarvale Station. That's the local neighborhood just south of here. Their naming convention is more about naming the stations after their local neighborhoods. See, that one says Cedarvale on it. There's another fantastic use of land, although that one does have an elevator. It looks like I lost the race with the bus. The there's a few more entrances to Eglinton West Station being built, or that have been built for the LRT on the other side. One right next to a police station on the south side, just over there, and another one just on the west side of the Allen. Quite the long wait for pedestrians here, but there's a lot of traffic to be cleared out. And of course, an advanced green. A police car that just flipped on the lights. Yeah, it kind of makes sense why there's an entrance there. I'm not sure it needs to be so big, but this is not a pedestrian-friendly crossing at all. It's almost comedic at this point. Yay! That guy's running the red. That guy's definitely running the red. How is this possible? How is this possible? There's a button there that's clearly been pressed this entire time. That was kind of absurd. More bike storage over here. Not yet operational, and it is starting to rain. Can't get much of a look down towards the LRT portion. I think the cop over there is just making a traffic stop. There's another little entrance to the station, and another much bigger one. And here I am with no umbrella. I'm gonna check the forecast. You see the Eglinton buses are quite frequent. You never have to wait that long for them. It's also the 63 Ossington bus. I'm going to head down to the southbound platform and check the forecast. And I hope you enjoyed this walk along Eglinton. Let me know your thoughts and comments and frustrations with the Crosstown construction in the comments down below. If you wish to support what I do, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. My chariot is here. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. It is taking its sweet time. It appears to be fairly packed, but a lot of people are going to be getting off at this stop. There's another train directly behind it. You know what? I'm gonna put away my camera and take that second train. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Yoink.